This introverted gamer, who lacks a social life, spends his days playing video games. One day, he finds himself in the world of a video game which he hated the most. In this world, everything is dominated by girls, and men are treated like slaves. We see a gamer who is playing a game continuously without taking a break. In a few days, he completes a whole game and states he hates this world. After playing the game for so long, he becomes hungry and heads to the convenience store, but he falls down the stairs and expires. He gets reincarnated into the world of Otone Game, which he had hated the most, and now his new name is Leon Thu Bartfort. 10 years passed by, and he doesn't remember the Bartfort family in game, meaning he is a side character. He tried to use his game knowledge to dominate and did a lot of training, but as his life continued, all his ambition disappeared, and he decided to look for happiness as a mob. One day, a woman named Zola, whom Leon's father had married for the survival of the family, tells him she is arranging his marriage to the court noble daughter. But the problem is she is 50 years old and had already married 7 times, and all of her husbands died in battle. Leon believes she is only marrying him because she wants his survivor's pensions. Leon states he wants to attend an academy where people find their marriage partner. But Zola refuses to send him to the academy because that's going to cost a lot of money. Zola plans to send him to the soldier if he rejects the marriage offer, as women in this world don't marry anyone over the age of 20. Leon realizes his future will be over if he doesn't do anything on his own and remembers the ancient spaceship he found while playing this game. So he decides to look for it because it'll be worth a lot of money, which will help him join the academy. After that, he borrows his father's flying ship, but he gets caught in a typhoon which completely destroys it. And he wakes up on the ground and enters a secret high-tech lab, which exactly looks like the one he saw in the game. He finds the skeleton and takes the card from them and uses it to enter the ship that he was looking for. He encounters a giant robot and attacks him with a magic bullet, but it doesn't work on him. So Leon uses a magic grenade, but it doesn't work either, and the robot activates its shield to block magic attacks. Leon uses another grenade, but the robot states that the attack won't work on him. But it was a regular grenade, and it passes through the robot's shield and explodes. But it shows no harm to the robot. The robot grabs Leon and asks what the year is according to the new calendar, and Leon states he doesn't know about the new calendar. The robot realizes that the new human had defeated old humans using magic, so now his mission is to defeat the new humans, and he'll start his mission by eliminating Leon first. He squeezes Leon, making him bleed. Leon throws his sword at the robot's eye, eliminating it. After that, Leon moves towards the computer and scans his hands, which recognize him as a new master and become surprised after finding that Leon has both traits of new and old humans. Leon names the advanced computer Luxion, as it was the name it had in the game. Leon passes out due to his injuries. Now, it's been 3 months since Leon left the house. Back at his home, Zola states that Leon is an idiot because he refused the marriage proposal and ran away, and now he might be dead because they haven't heard from him for 3 whole months. At that moment, Leon arrives with his ship, along with a large amount of treasure, and he begins attending the academy. Leon is staying on an island that he found while returning home. Now, he is an independent knight with a baronet rank. His assistant robot says that he can earn money in the future by making this island a tourist destination and suggests making a hot spring, which Leon agrees to. The robot reveals that it had already begun the preparation, and it'll be ready in a few months. Leon receives a baron rank from his academy, which he is unhappy about because now he'll have to find a high-ranking wife like Zola. He enters the academy and sees a princess group who were the main love interest in the game, and sees Angelica, who is a rival of the protagonist. After attending an entrance ceremony, he finds a girl who slaps the prince just like in the game, but she wasn't the protagonist of the game. Raymond holds a tea party along with his friends Leon and Daniel and hopes that some girls will attend their party. Leon sees all the girls clinging to the prince because he was holding a tea party as well. The prince is standing up for a girl that slapped him named Marie against his fiancée Angelica. This scene confuses Leon because the protagonist was supposed to be protected by the prince. After that, we see some girls bullying a girl named Olivia for not getting invited to a tea party. Leon remembers her as the protagonist of this game and invites her to his tea party. She compliments his tea and cookies. after which she mentions that she wants to learn magic more, but she doesn't know much about academic rules. After that, Leon mentions that he knows someone who can help her, and he takes Olivia to his sister, who advises her to introduce herself to the class's popular girl Angelica. Leon's sister also tells her to buy expensive snacks, but Olivia is poor and Leon offers to pay. Olivia introduces herself to Angelica, who is impressed by seeing her courage to introduce herself. Olivia asks whether she can stay at the academy, and Angelica states she doesn't want to make her leave, and she doesn't like being unkind. Upon Angelica asking, Olivia tells her that Leon told her to introduce herself, which impressed Angelica. After that, we see Leon at exploration class, who is annoyed because his friends Daniel and Raymond had skipped exploration class. Their teacher orders them to go to the dungeon and collect the crystal while avoiding the monsters. Leon goes along with Olivia and sees Angelica fighting with Marie, but the prince comes to the aid of Marie and goes with her instead of going with his fiancée. In the dungeon, Leon and Olivia encounter a group of monsters, and Leon fights with them, but they don't seem to decrease. The prince's squad comes by and helps him eliminate the monsters. The prince gets hurt during the fight, and his fiancée comes to heal him, but he pushes her and lets Mira heal him. He holds the hand of Maria and leaves his fiancée Angelica behind. Leon becomes confused because the prince was supposed to be with the protagonist, but he is not. The next day, someone has burned Marie's purse, and the prince assumes that it was done by his fiancée, Angelica, due to jealousy. The prince tells Angelica not to interfere between him and Maria, although he is engaged to Angelica. After that, we see Leoma at the library with Olivia, asking what kind of girl Marie is, but she gets the wrong idea and asks whether he likes girls like Marie, which he denies. They hear some noises in the library, and upon checking, they find Marie kissing a guy friend of the prince. After leaving the library, Marie meets the prince and his friend, who offered to buy her a servant because she can't afford one. Marie reveals that she is having fun in this game and she is going to dominate it, revealing that she is also from another world. We see Angelica devastated because she was deeply in love with the prince, and now he is falling for another woman. The next day, we see Leon at the party with his friends, hoping to find a girlfriend, but they all get rejected. Meanwhile, Angelica once again gets into an argument with the prince, stating she saw Marie holding hands with another guy, but the prince doesn't seem to care. Frustrated, Angelica throws her gloves at Marie, challenging her to a duel. The prince tells her to accept the challenge and offers to be her champion, but all his friends say that they can't let him be the spotlight and also offer to fight for her. On the other hand, no one is willing to fight for Angelica, but Leon steps up because he remembers if the protagonist wins the match, Angelica goes, and she'll marry a backcountry lord with a terrible personality and live her life in misery. They decide if Leon wins, the prince will stay away from Marie, and if they win, Angelica will never interfere in the prince's affairs again. Leon proposes to have an armored duel in the arena. They offer him to gather 5 people to compete against them, but Leon states that he alone is enough for them. After that, Leon returns to his room and finds some students had vandalized his room in his absence, but his small robot manages to record it, and Leon finds that they forced Daniel and Raymond to do it. Angelica tells Leon to forfeit the duel because she doesn't want him to suffer because of her. But Leon reassures that he can win and tells her that he isn't fighting so that he can ask a favor from her father, but he is fighting because he hates those guys. In the arena, all 5 guys have a big armored robot, and they were standing behind them. Leon also arrives with his armor robot, but everyone laughs at him. Olivia wonders why everyone is laughing, and Angelica reveals that his armor is most likely a lost item which can't be replicated using modern technology, but that doesn't mean it's strong. Leon's armor is bulky, whereas his opponent's armor is made so that they can move very fast. Leon enters his armor robot and asks Lexion to give him his blade number 1 from the backpack. But he is given a shovel and remembers the last time he took these and dug the hole, but forgot to change it. He decides to use the shovel as a weapon, and the fight begins. His opponent jumps at him, but is eliminated in one shot, which shocks everyone. His next opponent, Greg, arrives and states he won the first round because his armor was strong, and they start fighting. Greg attacks Leon, but he defends himself and breaks his weapon. He pins Greg down and starts breaking his armor robot. Greg comes out of his robot and states he'll fight him until his last breath, but Leon states he doesn't like bullying weak guys. Leon's next opponent is Chris. He attacks as the game begins, and Leon backs off and uses his drones to attack him. Chris jumps and attacks him using his sword, but Leon breaks it, defeating Chris. He becomes devastated after losing because he had worked hard for it. Leon tells Chris to tell Marie about all of his hard work so she could pity him. Before the next fight, Leon goes to ease himself. Upon returning, he gets informed by Luxon that his sister has set an explosion on the back of his robot on the order of Leon's next opponent, Jill. The fight begins, and Jill uses a smoke screen and flies. He shoots him, but it doesn't work on his armor, and at last, he activates the explosive which he had planted earlier, but that doesn't work either. After that, Leon also flies into the air as well. Joke threatens to harm Leon's family and states his days as a noble are over, but Leon tells him his days as a noble are over, and he has recorded him threatening his family, and he also knows that he planted an explosion on his robot, and if he were to tell this to the prince, he would surely hate him. Leon hits him with his shovel, defeating him, which makes Marie worry because her plan is going to be ruined by a mob. The prince reassures Marie that he'll win and states that his armor is made using the kingdom's greatest technology. Everyone in the crowd cheers for the prince. Before the game begins, Leon asks the prince about his thoughts about Olivia. The prince states that he had never talked to her, so he doesn't have any opinion. And the referee signals to start the fight. With the blow of the whistle at the arena, the fight begins with the crowd supporting the prince, Julius. The kingdom believes that the prince's armor was the strongest armor the technology could offer. Leon, in response without hesitation, starts the battle with the first strike with his shovel. The prince is cautious and defends the strike with his shield and strike backs immediately. The spirit of Prince to fight back fascinates Luxon and Lance, admits that he is a worthy opponent than the other four, and wonder if they gave their best. In between the battle, Prince Julius claims to fight for his true love. Marie while Leons fights back for the prince's sake, to help him break ties with manipulative villainous Marie. The prince is eventually questioned with how does it feel to truly love someone? He avoids the question and expresses his desire to not be born as a royal. The prince claims that Angelica's feelings are not love and that Marie is far more important to him than his fiancée, and he fights on that basis. Leon continues to play the villain role, attempting to warn the prince about being dethroned from his noble status by Miss Angelica and the Redgrave family. Despite the consequences, Prince Julius affirms that he doesn't need his status or honor, but rather Marie. With the following statement, Luxon uses impact, and in one blow, the prince's armor breaks down, bringing the battle to an end with Bartfort winning. Miss Angelica pays the prince a visit following the match. With the recent happening, Prince Julius implies that Angelica doesn't even understand what love is, as he not only rejects her affection, but also flatly rejects the possibility that she may be in love with him. Miss Angelic shed tears, where on other side an interrogation with Leon. He presents his gratitude towards the kingdom avoiding execution. However, his true intention of personal grudge and wife-hunting hell was never revealed. After the incident at the royal palace, Angelica finds herself visiting the Bartfort family's estate, which is a hovering island with fertile soil. The situation on the other side is intense as Zola blames Leon for bringing uproar at the royal capital and wait for the princess. 3 of them explore the farmland and settle into the hot springs upon the princess's entrance. The intensity adds up with Olivia, confronting her feeling towards Leon, and considers the potential that Leon might like Miss Angelica. Now that everything is much more comfortable, Olivia asks Leon to call her Livia, because that's what everyone calls her back home, and the princess adds on to call her Angie. In the next scene, Leon consoles Angie by suggesting a plan of revenge as she begins to feel uneasy and begin to blame herself for the situation. Leon adds up his plan for revenge and states, the best way to get revenge is to become happy yourself. This idea fascinates Angie. At the farm, Angelic, Leon, and Olivia create a new friendship away from the intense surroundings of school and the royal court. On the other hand, Julius loses his position as crown prince and Marie's dark side is uncovered. Marie is unhappy that she can't enjoy the lavish meals, magnificent clothing, and fascinating life she had imagined at the royal palace. Leon gets moved up to the upper 6th level as a reward for his devotion to the kingdom, while Marie, Julius and his friend are out exploring multiple dungeons together in preparation for defeating Leon Bradford. Leon makes his way back to the academy. With his return, Leon can now attend his first school festival. At the school festival, two groups compete with their cafes. One group is led by Marie, called the Princess of the Cafe, and the other group has Julius and his rich friends. They all try to make their cafe the best at the festival. Marie and her friends face challenges because their cafe looks more like a bar and charges high prices. Despite this, they are determined to beat Julius's group, who use their fancy backgrounds to attract guests. Everyone is trying to prove their cafe is the best by serving delicious tea and sweets. Leon, the opposing side in Marie's story, meets opposition with a combination of determination and mischief. He even jokingly asks the queen to marry him, making the festival more interesting. The queen, attracted by the fun and freedom of the festival, wants to make good memories at the academy, something she missed out on when she was younger. The story shows how everyone, from students to royalty, gets caught up in the festival's excitement. They learn about friendship, respect, and not judging others by their social status. The competition between Acates becomes more than just about winning. It's about understanding each other and growing up. In the end, the festival is not just about which cafe is better. It's about the adventures everyone has, the lessons they learn, and how they become friends or find new respect for each other. The festival is a fun, messy, and memorable time for everyone involved, teaching them about life and themselves. Our story follows Leon, who's really into tech and loves to gamble as he faces ups and downs in school life, tight friendships, and intense contests. It kicks off with a big school celebration, quickly zooming in on an exciting bike race that everyone at school and even some gamblers are talking about. Even though Leon is good enough to be in the race, he first seems more interested in placing bets on who will win instead of racing himself. As the story moves forward, we get into the heart of Leon's friendships and how he ends up helping a girl he doesn't really know, all because she asked him to. This puts him and Livia in a complicated situation, as refusing the girl's request could tarnish Livia's reputation for her role as the mediator. The tension escalates with the big bike race that everyone's talking about. Leon, who usually prefers betting, finds himself racing this time. But this race is more than just speeding to the finish line. It's about who's got the most pride, the best strategy, and the will to outlast everyone else. Leon is up against some tough competition, including a crowd favorite named Danfia Elgar and a mysterious dark horse called Joke. As the race heats up, old grudges come to light, and the racers form alliances and face off in ways that go way beyond just the race. Leon's involvement in the race uncovers layers of personal grudges, especially with Clarice and her gang, who are out for revenge and don't mind playing dirty. The competition takes a violent turn, with sneaky moves left and right. Despite the odds and direct sabotage, Leon, being the clever guy he is, modifies his bike in just the right way and ends up winning against all odds, surprising everyone. However, the victory is bittersweet. Leon faces rumors of being a coward and must deal with some tough confrontations. It shows us there's more to him than just jokes and a carefree attitude. Deep down, he really cares about being fair and even says sorry to those he's upset, showing a side of him that values respect and fairness a lot. The story also delves into the evolving relationships among the characters, particularly between Livia, Angelica, and Leon. Livia suddenly becoming more outspoken catches everyone off guard, including Angelica, hinting at some interesting changes in how they all get along. After the dust settles from the race and all the drama, everyone starts to think over what they'd done and how they've acted. Leon, with his not-so-typical ways and tough exterior, really stands out as someone who's genuinely decent. His actions, whether in the race or dealing with personal issues, show how he stands up for what is right, even if it means going against what everyone else thinks. With everyone rethinking their actions and how they've affected their relationships, it leaves us hanging a bit, ready for whatever comes next for Leon and his crew, suggesting their journey is far from done. Through all the competition, personal growth, and complicated social dynamics, we get a compelling glimpse into the challenges of finding your place and purpose in the world of the Academy. In our story, where highborns and commoners mix, we now see our main character, Olivia, finding herself in the middle of noble drama and threats from sky pirates. Olivia tries hard to keep true to herself while navigating the tricky waters of obligations and dangers that come with mingling with the nobility. Her friendship with Angie, a lady of high birth, is put to the test as they face societal pressures. Things get even more tangled when Leon, a nobleman, gets dragged into a plot made by a manipulative count's daughter. This count's daughter, envious of Olivia climbing the social ladder, sets up a plan involving sky pirates to tarnish Olivia's reputation. But Leon steps in to help, following Angie's request, which leads to them teaming up in an unexpected alliance against the sky pirates. As the story goes on, our characters take on a big challenge, stopping the sky pirates' evil plans. During this adventure, Leon, who used to keep to himself, starts showing he cares a lot about Olivia, hinting there's more to their bond than we first thought. Livia cried and said Leon and Angie treat her like a pet. Leon talked to Luxian about it. Luxian said it's Leon's fault Livia isn't growing up right. Leon said he helped her, but Luxian disagreed. Leon got angry and punched Luxian. Brad came and practiced sword fighting, wanting to beat Leon one day. Leon said Brad should practice magic instead, but Brad still wants to beat him, thinking he's not strong but looks good. This leads to a short argument about Marie, which is solved by a duel between Brad and Leon. Leon realizes how the prince and his friends try to impress Marie, but he treats Livia differently. Leon wins the duel against Brad, who promises to beat him next time. Meanwhile, Marie and her servant Kyle explore a tough dungeon to find something for the hero. Julius and Joke plan to escape the castle, but the queen says no when she hears about it. Leon, Brad, and Greg talk about fighting sky pirates during lunch. Suddenly, pirates attack them, and Brad and Greg want to help. Livia thinks about what she said to Leon and then finds out pirates are attacking. She tries to go to the deck, but two worker bots stop her. Her voice makes them let her pass. On the deck, a pirate in armor comes to her. Brad saves her, but he's in trouble. Leon fights pirates, but finds it hard to catch them alive. Luxian tells Leon the pirate leader is there. Brad and Greg protect Livia. Leon thinks it's right, but still wants to help. He gets an axe and fights the leader. He wins and gets the holy necklace. Livia heals Brad's arm, surprising him. Leon asks Greg to help take Brad inside. While Greg and Leon help Brad, Livia wishes Leon called her Livia. In his room, Leon looks at the treasure from the pirates and finds papers linking Stephanie to them. They see a Red Greg ship. Later, Brad and Greg find out they're getting credit for stopping the pirates and the reward money. Leon asked their families to reconsider disowning them. Talking to Luxian, Leon says he wants to be a normal character again. But Brad and Greg want Leon to get promoted. Bernard thanks Leon for helping Clarice and gives him a new airbike. When he graduates, he'll be promoted, which makes Liam very upset. Outside the Holford Academy, Leon and Luxian look at the new airbike Leon got from Clarice, named Short, which means sword. Leon loves it, but Luxian says he'll modify it. Later, Raymond and Daniel try to cheer up sad Leon. Leon thinks he might get married because of his status. They talk about the school trip, where Leon chose to go to the southern island to get an item, but Brad and Daniel think he should make up with Angie and Livia while he's there. On a fancy ship that night, Leon and Luxian talk about their plans. They see Angie and Livia on the ship, and a woman named Deirdre brags about herself. Chris annoys Leon with his fans, and Leon wishes Chris would like Livia instead. Angie's old friends throw smoking sticks out a window in the engine room. The ship reaches its destination, and Livia feels lonely. She meets Leon and Angie at a temple, where they pray together. Inside, Leon hopes Livia and Angie find good partners. The Shrine Maiden gives them unique charms. This charm was what Leon wanted, so he worked hard to get it. Livia gets a blue charm, Angie gets a red one, and Leon gets a battle charm. It helps him fighting and makes you stronger. The Shrine Maiden thinks they prayed for friendship, but they seem upset. The next day, the ship leaves, and Luxian says Leon got the battle charm to get the holy bracelet from the dungeon. Marie is there too. Leon hopes Marie doesn't choose war. On another ship, a red-eyed woman says it's almost time. Chris challenges Leon to a sword fight, and they talk about Chris's skills. Suddenly, an alarm goes off, and monsters come. Leon sees they're from Thanos. Before Leon can act, a monster ship comes, and Livia and Angie join him. Angie recognizes the red-eyed woman as Princess Gertrude Seraphanos, who gives a message to everyone on the ship. The Phanos Kingdom says they're at war with Holford, and everyone on the ship must surrender. Angie is very upset, and Leon wonders what he did wrong. Gelat, a man from Phanos, talks to everyone. He says those with titles like Baron will be hostages, but others won't. Angie wants to be the only hostage, but Gelat makes two students beat up Leon for being rude. Angie asks Gelat to stop them, but he doesn't. Leon tries to help but gets knocked out by a student. Angie talks to Gertrude about the war plans. Meanwhile, Leon and Lydia are stuck on the ship, feeling bad they couldn't help Angie. Chris says Angelica is the only hostage and the others will die soon. He asks Leon for help, but Leon says no because no one helped Angie before. Chris tries to leave, but Leon stops him. He says he'll only help if everyone else does too. Chris asked their classmates to fight the invaders, but they say no. Leon comes with Lydia and shoots a gun in the air. He asks everyone to help. He calls them one of the nobles, which makes Deirdre angry. They argue, and Leon says the noble students only care about their family's success. This makes the students want to fight, and Deirdre likes Leon. Leon leaves with Chris and Livia. Gertrude plays music that controls the monsters outside. Luxon tells Leon that Angie is on the enemy ship, and Leon thinks they have a flute that controls monsters. They break the monster formation to reach the ship. Chris wonders if he'll ever be as good as Leon in fighting. He tells some students to fight the monsters. Deirdre tells other students to make a barrier and use magic against the monsters. Gertrude uses the flute to make the monsters attack faster. Angie praises Leon for being brave. Jetlet says their cannon will destroy the students' ship. Luxon is surprised the students, especially the boys, fight back. Leon says it's because they want good wives after school. Deirdre uses magic against the monsters, and Livia helps a staff member. An enemy ship shoots at them, so they aim back. Livia makes a barrier to protect them. She uses magic to attack monsters, and Leon goes into the enemy ship. Gillette says Leon is foolish for fighting alone. Suddenly, Leon shows up and shoots the soldiers. He knocks out Gillette and points his gun at Gertrude, telling her to surrender. Gertrude is impressed, but asks for Leon's name. Instead, he shoots a maid and tells Gertrude to stop stalling. Luxon tells Leon the flute he has is fake, and the maid has the real one. Then, Luxon shaves Gillette's mustache. Leon takes Gertrude, Angie, and the flute and escapes on his bike because the monster controlling the ship is defeated. Gillette prepares to attack on another ship. Leon sees Livia is tired, and Chris asks for advice because the monster stopped moving. Before Leon can answer, Gillette says Gertrude will sacrifice herself, and the monsters attack. Leon rides to fight the monsters, leaving Angie worried. Her charm activates, and she helps Leon with fighter lances. She finds Livia tired and learns Livia feels she held them back and wanted their friendship. Angie is surprised and promises to give Livia lots of praise. She hugs Livia, who cries. Then, the ship is shot at, and Angie falls overboard. She thinks about her regrets, but is saved by Livia just in time. They talk, but another shot hits the ship, and Angie falls in again. Leon saves her, but Livia gets upset when he calls her Olivia instead of her nickname. They talk about their feelings, and Livia says she loves him. Leon takes Livia back to the ship on his bike, and she's happy he called her Livia. Livia and Angie hug on the deck while Leon watches. Then, their friend, the partner, attacks the enemy ships. Leon's armor mech, the Arrogance, lands on the ship, and he tells Chris he'll fight the enemies. Gillette's fleet is in trouble, but their Black Knight, Vandal Himzendin, makes them feel better. Leon uses his Arrogance to dodge enemy attacks. He sends rescue ships for his friends with Chris and Deidre's help. A black mech attacks Leon, and he thinks it's the Black Knight. Gertrude calls the mech Vandal and wonders why he's here. Angie tells Livia about Vandal. Leon fights Vandal with drones, but Vandal beats them. Leon fights with his bare hands but gets hurt. Luxon says they should leave, but Leon won't. He fights Vandal and learns he fights for his country. Vandal tries to hurt Leon's Arrogance, but Leon fights back. He won't kill Vandal, so they capture him. Gillette sends monsters, but Luxon stops them. Leon tells Vandal he lost his students and should retire. They take Gillette's ships. Leon won't negotiate with Giraffe and says winners should be rewarded. Lakshan asks why Leon didn't use the ship to fight Vandal, and Leon says it's too risky. Leon can't go to his room because Livia and Angie are sleeping there. Chris tells Leon he'll catch up to him. Angie's brother Gilbert says Gertrude will study abroad, which Angie thinks is too easy. Gilbert asks about Leon's love life, but Angie says he doesn't have one. Gilbert is surprised that Leon, who achieved a lot, doesn't have a girlfriend. Leon, Livia, and Angie have a tea party and talk about Leon giving credit to Chris for defeating the Black Knight. Livia and Angie praise Leon. They ask about Lakshan, and Leon introduces him. Lakshan tells them about himself, and Livia shortens his name to Lux. Leon is happy about the nickname, but Lux warns him about Julius and his friends plotting something. Julius and his friends show Marie and Kyle a new mech they made from old parts, which upsets Marie. There's a rematch duel, and Greg represents Julius's Brook. Leon plans to let Greg win so they can be happy with Marie. Lux warns that Greg's armor might explode, but the ref doesn't listen. Leon destroys the armor to save Greg's life, making Marie lose a lot of money. Later, Leon talks to Daniel and Raymond about winning but still being treated badly. Angie takes Leon to an award ceremony where he's given a medal for capturing Gertrude and becomes a Viscount. Livia and Angie talk to Leon about his romantic life. Leon realizes he wants to be with both Angie and Livia. Lux compares him to Marie, which upsets Leon.